And I am live. Nobody's come in yet, but I've only been live for 2 minutes, so. Hey,
Hello.
hello. I'm very confused, because it doesn't show that you've actually come into the stream, as in, it doesn't show that you're watching on YouTube. It's like you just come in,
Yeah.
and do you know, it's weird,
Yeah.
because
I had that the other day on a live. Like literally, they couldn't even see if anyone was there or not. And when I'm just like, we're all here,
yeah,
they couldn't see
yeah.
us.
Now it's showing there's one watch, and I don't know who it is. Is it you? Have you got YouTube open on a tab, or
No, but could be someone else. Who knows?
yeah, it could be anyone, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Uh, how was your day today then? Did you have a better day than yesterday?
No, it got worse. It was just literally,
Uh,
I had 3 rejections, I think, in one go, like within a couple of hours of each other, and I was like, yay, fun.
and the 3 rejections were for what jobs?
I had Team Sport, which I went to the interview for yesterday. They said no.
Yes, I remember that one.
One was Lidl, because I was meant to have a call with them tomorrow. They decided literally to email me today, basically cancelling it because she was like, "Oh yeah, the position's failed already." I'm like, "Yeah, but I didn't even have an interview, so how the what was the point in letting me book one then?" And then the third one was basically in a call center again, but it was for travel insurance. And I spoke to them earlier, and then they literally came back and said no. I was like, "Fun, great."
Yeah, I've got to mention this as well. I should have mentioned it last night, but I didn't think. Nicola's YouTube thing have been hacked. Because I'd done a live stream the other night when you didn't turn up,
Yeah.
I took it down because there was nobody watching really.
Yeah.
But I thought like Nicola had like because what it was, the name has been changed to Mrs. Nobody, so it's not Nicola Morgan anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nicola's thing have been hacked. She could get it back if she really wanted to, though.
Yeah, she could, but I feel like she's not that bothered by it, kind of thing, because it's not really something she really uses that much.
Yeah,
I feel like if it was Facebook or something that she used regularly, then she probably would try, because you don't really want to lose it if you don't have to.
yeah. Because when I got this channel hacked, I thought they weren't really gonna do all that much to help me because of what I'd done
Yeah.
in to how I got hacked in the first place. Um, but yeah, I thought they weren't going to bother to help me very much because I was like I'm not monetized or nothing, and but I'm glad that they they were able to help me out
Yeah.
because whoever had hacked me, they'd changed the two-step verification thing, so you need like a security key,
Yeah.
which obviously you got to pay for them.
Hmm.
Um, I wouldn't even know where you'd even get them from. I think you can order them from like Amazon or something. Plus, as well, I don't know if I'd really want to risk logging in like that because even though it's more like it's more secure, like you'd have to think about like what would you do if you lost the key sort of thing,
Yeah.
you know? Because I mean, if you lose the key and then you're locked out, it's like how would you get back into it?
Yeah.
I suppose you could tweet out to Team YouTube and see if they can help you out. Because that's what I had to do to get my channel back. I had to go on Twitter and,
Yeah.
there was loads of things I had to do. What was worrying me the most was filling out the hijacking form
Yeah.
because some of it I didn't really. Plus, as well, it was asking me like what my last video was and what the IP address was from where I uploaded the video, and like I had to do a lot of googling basically because
Yeah.
like even though I remember what my last video was at that current time, my last upload, um, but I wasn't sure of what my IP address was, so I had to do a bit of googling and. There was a lot of faffing around, but I got there in the end.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Upload. Still kills from earlier. I thought it would be dead by now.
Um,
I thought my arm would be better by now since I had my bloods like early this morning, but it still fucking kills. Every time I move my arm, it like kills. I'm like, oh.
does it?
Yeah, I'm glad my vein didn't give out this time because the last time I did bloods, she had to switch arms halfway through because my vein just was like, yeah, no.
It's not good, that is it?
No, I had it like blow at one point before, and then like every time, like if my vein blows, like they make me stay there for like 30 minutes after, just in case like it doesn't kind of change, because they're like, otherwise I then have to go to A&E.
Yeah.
Because the last time it blew, like the lady was like, she was literally like, I think 2 minutes away from like wanting to call them, and I was like to her, I goes, it'd be fine. I was like to her, I've had it before, it will die down in a couple of days. But it literally, it looked like someone had punched me in the freaking arm, because it was just that bruised. I was like to her, goes, go down. I was like, if it doesn't, I'll come back, but I ain't going near A&E for it. I was like, they ain't gonna do much at A&E. They're just gonna go, it's bruised, go home.
Yeah. Do you remember a while back when we were talking about 8 passengers?
Yeah.
Well, watch this now. I don't know if you've even seen this. You might have already seen it, but watch this. It's the house being raided. It is.
Then Ruby Franke was found guilty of child abuse. Now, for the first time, we are seeing the moment she was put in cuffs. Les Trent has details.
Police officers, open up! It's just released body cam video of armed cops raiding the home of former mom influencer Ruby Franke and her co-host to uncover horrific child abuse.
Step out of the house. Step out of the house.
Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrand dispensed parenting advice on social media to 2.5 million followers, with an emphasis on tough love. But paramedics were moved to tears by what they found inside their multi-million-dollar home. A traumatized child sat motionless.
That is a
in
big
closet,
house, mind.
undernourished and too terrified to talk.
Are you scared?
It's okay if I just sit here with you. We don't have to say anything.
I've got to be honest, that is a
The
big,
shocking
big
videos
house.
are featured on a 2020 episode airing tonight.
It's also heartbreaking to see that officer coax the little girl out of that closet.
Absolutely. And it was hours of gentle talking that got her to open up. And finally, he said, do you want some pizza? And that's what got her out of that closet.
Cops were called to the home in an upscale neighborhood in Utah after Franke's 12-year-old son escaped and fled to a neighbor's home.
We received a report of an emaciated juvenile that had duct tape around his extremities, that was asking for food and water.
He was treated by paramedics at the scene.
Look to your left.
As handcuffs closed over Ruby Franke's wrists, her brutal reign of terror came to an abrupt end.
Do you need medical attention before you go to the jail?
The 2-hour 2020 special Ruby Franke from Momfluencer to Felon airs tonight on ABC and streams tomorrow on Hulu.
What do you think of that then? Pardon?
Like, what I don't understand is like why would you as a parent want to put your child through that much trauma that like those, like the younger ones are never gonna come back from that?
I know, like that's what I don't really understand either.
I'm like, you're meant to be their mum or their dad. Like, why would you literally malnourish your kid to a point where like that's not good? Like, why would you want to?
I know, to the point as well where they're literally starving. And I did watch another video as well, but it's probably going to take me forever to bloody find it. But I did watch one video where they were saying about how the siblings, they didn't see each other for months, even though they lived in the same house.
Yeah, I'm like, it seems a bit weird how they wouldn't have seen each other, because like if they're in the same house, it's like they would have had to have come into contact with each other at some point.
Well, yeah, but look at how big the fucking house was, though. It was
Yeah.
huge, wasn't it?
I mean, they could have easily been keeping the younger ones downstairs and the older ones away, but even then, it's kind of like the older ones would have known what was going on. Why didn't they let anyone else know?
I know that's what I don't understand.
Because I'm like, the older ones would have known what was going on. Like, there's no way that they didn't have any knowledge that like their younger siblings were being malnourished.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a bit weird why they didn't say anything to family, or like at least like, you know, call the police and go, my siblings are being kept somewhere in the house, we don't know where, because we haven't seen them in a while.
I know. At one point though, the boy, he broke free and went to a neighbour's house,
Yeah.
and that's when child services eventually got involved.
Sometimes it's always like, it's too late when child services get involved, because a lot of the time they either do nothing and then multiple kids die because they just ignore it and go, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm like, they did it to my, like, they were involved with my cousins for a while. They're not anymore, but it's mainly because my little cousin went to school, and because his sister doesn't go to school, she hasn't been to school probably since she started fucking high school. She never went once. But he was making
And
comments.
she's how old is she now?
She's 16. She's literally like, I think she went to school probably twice since being in high school, and she never went. She's not attended one lesson. She hasn't done her GCSEs.
Did their parents like not get fined or arrested or anything?
My uncle got pulled into the school because obviously they know that my uncle and obviously her mum are separated, but obviously that my uncle has contacted them in terms of like he only sees them on a Wednesday after school, and then like every other weekend, because that's sort of their agreement. But obviously the school were like, well, you know, they asked him to have a chat with her, but obviously he was like, there's only so much that he can do. It's more her mum, because she lives there, that she would have had to do it, but her mum doesn't care.
Yeah.
She left Alicia with Toby, like, and she went out for like she didn't come home until like 2 a.m.
Bloody hell.
Alicia was 15 at this time, looking after Toby, he was 7 at this point. I'm like, 15-year-old cannot take care of, like, she can't take care of her fucking self, let alone him. They can't be in that house on their own. And he was texting my uncle. My uncle was asleep, so he didn't, like, he literally woke up in the morning to his phone literally blowing up messages of Toby being like, I don't know where mummy is, like, she's not home. My uncle's like going, rings him in the morning, like when he wakes up, and is like, what do you mean your mum went home? And he was like, oh, mum went out with her friends. And my uncle's like, well, who was looking after you then? And he's like, Alicia. And I'm like, she can't look after his house, she shouldn't look after you.
Yeah.
Well, she can't look after herself. Like, she doesn't go to school. She uses, like, since year 7, she's used her mental health as an issue. Like, if she didn't feel up to it, she wouldn't go. And no one forced her to go.
Really? So she's playing on her mental health then, basically.
Pretty much. And then she's never been. And I'm like, she has no aspirations. Like, everyone's been like, oh, what are you going to do when you finish school? Because she can't stay on at sixth form. Her school have said no. They don't want her. She was a problem child from as soon as she started. They were like, nah, we're not having her.
Yeah, I liked school though as a kid, me.
I didn't mind primary. I just didn't like secondary school. I felt like I wanted to leave there as quickly as I could, because I literally hated people in my school. I still do.
But
in
then,
some ways.
back when I was in school though, if I'm being perfectly honest, in school was the only place where I would see my friends.
Yeah. I kind of...
I'd very rarely see anybody outside of school.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, for me, I didn't really, well, apart from Nicola, like, everyone else I didn't really see outside of school, because, like, you don't really see them when you're there.
Yeah. Like, my mate who lives around the corner from me, like, I still see him from time to time, you know?
Yeah, like, I don't really, like, anyone from school I don't really speak to. Like, I've had odd people message me that, like, used to go to my primary. And, like, it's a bit awkward when some of them message me because like they still think we're like friends, and I'm like, I haven't spoken to you in years. You can't go, you're my mate.
I know.
I'm like, one of them was like, oh, what are you doing? They're like, how's your mum? How's your brother? And I'm like, I haven't seen you since I was a kid. And then they're like, we're best mates. I'm like, we haven't seen each other since we were kids. We ain't mates. We're acquaintances at that point. I know you, but I wouldn't class you as my friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, we ain't spoken to each other in years.
I know. I'm like that with people sometimes. Like a lot of people from school, like I barely speak to anymore. It's like when I made my new Facebook and I sent everyone a friend request, a lot of them just ignored it, and it kind of felt as if everyone in school had sort of forgotten who we all are,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But it takes the piss because some of them I've known since they were like 3, 4. Because what it was, some of them went to the Hollies, which is where I went. I went to the Hollies in Pentwyn. Then I went to Erydelin. Yeah. I kind of had a feeling that I was going to end up going to Erydelin because that's where my mate went. The one who lives around the corner from me, he went to the Hollies, which is how I met him, and he went up to Erydelin, and you know, it was kind of weird though because back then, like when he left the Hollies, I was a little bit like I did miss him. Like, do you get me? Because like I'm really close with him, like you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of weird though. Like when he went up to high school, because like I was still at the Hollies. I still had like 2 years left, I think. Yeah, since I left Hollies, I've only been back there once, I think.
Yeah, I think I never really went back to my primary school once because I randomly went back literally just to see like a couple of teachers because they still work there, which is surprising. Just manual.
Yeah, I only went back there with Erydelin. We went back there. There was only a few of us, but we went back there for the day to play bocce.
Yeah.
Which was fun because it was nice seeing everyone. Like they split us up into like two lots, obviously. So my school was on one side of the hall, and the Hollies lot were on the other side of the hall. I sat with the Hollies lot, and a member of staff came over to me. She was like, "Nate, you're supposed to be over there." And Jenny, the teacher, she was like, "Yeah, he's fine by there." And I was like, "Thank fuck for that." Because like I wanted to be sat like with my old mates, like who I hadn't seen for ages.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like I don't see what the issue would have been.
You know, like a lot of people, like I don't know, like thanks to Facebook and that nowadays, it's like it's easier for people to keep in touch.
Yeah,
I
feel like
find.
I have like family that obviously like a lot of my family aren't in the UK because some of them are like obviously my grandpa's a fuck knows he fucking moves all the time. I think he's back in Wuhan, China. He moves that much. I'm like, you never know never know where he is. He doesn't stay in one place for long. But it's just it's awkward talking to him because I've never had a relationship to him. But obviously he's my mum's biological dad too. So he's like, I'm your grandpa, and I'm like, I've seen you once. And and I don't have the fondest of memories of him because the last time I went to see my nan, like, she was like, because he apparently reached out to my nan because my nan has Facebook, and I was like to my nan, I was like, you didn't message him back, did you? And she's like, yeah, we've had a chat here and there. I'm looking at my nan going, you don't owe the man anything. Like, you were with him like literally years ago, and he also wasn't very nice to my nan.
Oh.
He abused my nan. Like, she got married when she was about 26, 27 to him, and obviously she had my mum and my auntie Sarah, and then basically he fucked off and met his wife that he's still with, that he has my auntie and my uncle that are younger than me. That's just weird, knowing that I'm a lot older than they fucking are.
Yeah.
And like, he literally, like, he used to hit my nan and everything, and I'm like to my nan, I'm like, why are you talking to him? You don't know him, nothing. I'm like, the man couldn't even stay around for his own kids and never seen them.
Says it all, that, doesn't it?
He turned up on my nan's doorstep when my mum was like 15, 16. My nan was not there because she went out with like one of my aunties or something. My mum was at home because she would sky from school at lunchtime to go and watch Neighbours because it was on at back in the middle of the day at that point. Don't know why.
Oh.
I'm like, as you do. And like, my grandpa's in work, but like, my mum had told my nan that obviously her dad had turned up. My grandpa always said to my mum and my auntie, because he wasn't their biological dad, he was like, you know, if you want to have a relationship with your dad, he wouldn't ever like, he wouldn't hold it against them, but he was like, obviously he was more of a dad to my mum and my auntie than their actual dad was.
Yeah.
Like, he always said like that they didn't have to call him dad, they could have called him Alan if they didn't want to. But my mum was like, even still now, she'll still call him dad, even though he isn't. And her real dad, she's like, yeah, no, doesn't bother with. But he will reach out to me every so often and go, how's life? And I'm like, it's all right. What am I supposed to say? I'm like, it's life.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know that, like, he was like, oh, I see your mum got remarried. I'm like, yeah. What does he want me to say? And then he's like, he goes, oh, that's nice. And I literally just replied with, no, it's not. And he's like, why? And I was like, they argue, so it ain't nice. They ain't good for each other. Because my stepdad decided to ring me at one point and was like, oh, can you speak to your mum? Because my mum was ignoring him and wouldn't speak to him. I was like, I'm not even there. I'm not getting involved. I messaged my mum and was like, stop being a fucking dick and just speak to him. You live in the same fucking house. If you don't want to live in the same house, you see each other, fucking move out.
Oh, no.
Simple. I was like, you know, because she'll go and sit in the bedroom out of the way to ignore him. And I'm like, you live in the same fucking house. Like, there's very few fucking rooms you can go and hide in.
Yeah.
I was like, you're gonna have to fucking face each other at some point, and she doesn't like it because my stepdad keeps making comments about my brother, and I've told him that he isn't technically wrong because my brother doesn't still work, hasn't had a job literally since about March of last year.
No, not good, is it?
I got moaned out when I left HMRC because obviously they told me I was stupid because I left without a job. I was like, yeah, I won't stay in a job I don't want to be in. He hasn't had one since, and just sits at home all day.
Is Liam having any luck with finding a job, or?
No, he's had loads of rejections as well. So it's like, we're both kind of in not best positions, but it's like, what can we do? His mum knows we've been looking because it was like when we were down there, like before they went away for like 2 nights, they seen us like on our laptops job searching.
Yeah.
They were just like, you know, we just have to carry on doing what we're doing.
Yeah, Liam's after the same sort of stuff that you're after, isn't he? You were telling me computer stuff.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, obviously it's quite hard.
Yeah, I think what it is, I think to get a job in like computer stuff, I think the reason why it's so hard is because a lot of people don't know how much experience you've had with computers and RC, do they?
No, and it's like a lot of them want like, I mean, everything needs freaking experience now, but I'm just like, at this point, like I've had to say, like to quite a few people, I'm like, even if I have to get 2 part-time jobs, I don't want 2 part-time jobs because it would freaking kill me. But I'm like, if I have to have Matalan and another one, I'm just gonna have to deal with it for now.
Yeah.
It just means I will probably barely really have time to myself between the two,
I know.
which is the only issue. And then it's also trying to make sure that they don't clash in any way.
Oh, I know. Imagine that.
I know, I'm like, I don't really want 2 part-time jobs because I know either way I'm still not going to be coming home with that much money because I'll get taxed more with the second one,
Yeah.
which is my only issue.
And plus, really, you need a full-time job, not a part-time job.
Yeah, I was like, I don't really want to have like 2 part-time jobs. I'm like, it'd be easier if I just have one job that literally has the hours I need. But I'm like, if I can't, then I'll have to take part-time ones. But I don't really want to.
Yeah.
But my stepdad's pissed off because basically my brother does nothing and he doesn't want him to be sat around the house.
Yeah.
And every time he brings it up to my mum freaks the fuck out.
Like, why does your mum freak out?
Oh, she was like to him, she's like, don't fucking speak about my kids. I don't say anything about your kids. I'm like, they're going. I'm like, you don't fucking have, like, he doesn't see 2 of his kids. And the other ones are older, so they don't fucking see him. They message him if they need money, is really what my stepsisters do. They need something, they message their dad and go, oh yeah, can you... My stepsister, Ang Harrod, messaged him the other week and was like, she needed like fucking 100 and something fucking quid because for something, and he literally just gave it to her, no questions asked.
So in a way, then they're sort of using him as like a ATM sort of thing.
Pretty much, but he doesn't say no to him though. He just gives it to him. It's like his daughter Megan, she's got a kid, and he will give her money, and I'm like, she ain't got the money. That's her problem. She lives 3 fucking doors up from her fucking mum. She moved out and moved 3 doors up. I'm like, she goes to her mum every day. She can ask her mum for the money. I don't know why she needs to ask him. And then my mum gets pissed at him because she's like, well, that's our money. So she's like, why are you giving your kids money? And he was like, oh, well, you would do the same for your kids. I'm like, my mum hasn't given me any money. I'm like, my brother lives at home. And preferably when my mum and my stepdad die, like, apparently he's my problem. And I've said, no, he ain't.
Huh? Why would they say?
Because he, like, my brother literally cannot look after himself. Like, if my mum isn't there, like, he will starve. Like, he won't make himself anything. Like, he's gone literally 9 hours before without a fucking drink. He won't make himself one, bearing in mind he can walk to the kitchen and make himself one. Not hard. Turn on the kettle.
Really? Like, why wouldn't he make himself?
I don't know, but he's gone, like, he can go hours without a drink. He'll wait until my mum will make him one occasionally sometimes. Or he comes down hours later after. Like, he had 1 drink one day, and that was it. That's all he had was 1. And my mum's like, you haven't had a drink all day. You haven't come downstairs to get a drink. And my stepdad's like, well, when him and my mum die, he was like, it's your problem, because he's already told my mum he will never move out.
Okay, and why wouldn't he move out? He's got to move out eventually.
Because he doesn't want to have to pay bills, and he's like, he doesn't feel like that he should have to. He just feels like that he should be allowed to live wherever and basically swan off them. And I told my mum and my stepdad, I goes, if anything happens to you guys, I was like, don't fucking expect me to take him in. No, I don't fucking want him. I don't like him. I've told him to his face. I don't like him. I don't. I was like, to my mum, I'm like, why would I like him after what happened when I was a kid? I was like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but what did they say then when you said that?
Well, my mum's like, "Oh, he's your brother," and I goes, "It doesn't matter. Like, doesn't matter whether he is my brother or he isn't." I was like, "I ain't having him." I was like, "Why should I have to take care of him? It's not my job to. He's a year older than me. He can look after himself. If he can't, that's his problem." Because
Has
none
he
of my
got? He's not got learning difficulties or anything, is he?
my stepdad thinks that he's got freaking social anxiety. He doesn't fucking speak to anyone. He doesn't come out of his room. The most that I think my stepdad's ever seen him come out of his room is for him to go to my nan's, or if he's gone literally up the road to go to the shop. Doesn't speak to anyone. Literally, you can try and have a conversation with him, you'll get fuck all out of him, or you'll get barely anything. And my stepdad's like, he needs to see someone. My mum's like, he's fine, and I was like, he's fucking not fine.
No, he's not fine at all, is he?
I was like, he never has been. I was like, he doesn't leave his fucking room.
Mm.
Like, he could go months where it's like, literally, he went 2 years without stepping out the fucking door.
Really, like that's really not good.
Not even out, not even out the front door, like nothing. He was like, wouldn't go out, nothing. I'm like, to my mum, I'm like, you're saying that's fine. He doesn't leave his room unless he gets forced to leave his room and go out of the house, which is normally if he goes to see my nan. Other than that, he won't. He doesn't go out for like just normal day-to-day life.
Like that's really not fine, that is it?
No, my stepdad kept going, oh, you should sign on at the job centre because at least they could freaking help him or whatever, rather than him being sat at the computer all day doing fuck all.
Yeah.
But my mum gets pissy when anyone says anything about it. She's like, don't fucking say fuck all about him. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, you're just letting him do it though.
Yeah.
He doesn't clean his own room. He makes my mum do it. He paid my mum 150 quid to clean his room.
150.
Yeah, literally paid my mum 150 quid to clean his room.
Oh.
And his room was disgusting. There was 12 rubbish bags that came from his room and 6 plates that I was like to my mum, don't make me fucking food from them. They're fucking green mouldy. I'm like, they're going in the fucking bin. I ain't eating off them. Don't care if she washes them for a year. I ain't eating off them.
No, I don't blame you.
But he paid my mum 150 quid to clean his room, and every time his room is dirty now, he'll go to my mum. He's like, can you clean it for me? My mum stupidly does it though. I'm like, you're a fucking mug, you should clean it.
Mm.
I'm like, there's a thing called clean it yourself. I'm like, you gotta get paid to clean.
How's your Unity stuff going?
It's alright. I'm still trying to like play with different things, but it's like just trying to figure out how to do it or what else I can do.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's a bit difficult though, isn't it? Especially when you haven't touched it in a while.
Yeah, it's like, because when I used it for the uni, like that's what, like we were always using it for assignments or whatever, and then when you don't, because I don't have the sort of need of using it now, I'm kind of just like, do I want to? Do I not?
Well, yeah, but I thought it was like I thought it was like a hobby for you though, see, as well. I thought it was like a...
It was, but I felt like, I think doing the degree kind of took it out of me as it being a hobby and it more feeling like a mundane, everyday kind of thing. That I just got to the point where I feel like it doesn't feel as a hobby to me anymore. Like it just feels like I can do it for a bit and then I'm kind of like, yeah, now I have to like leave it for like months.
Yeah.
I have no passion to want to do it anymore, which is like, it quite saddens me a bit.
Yeah. Like, do you ever get like that when it comes to like filming like your videos and stuff and filming stuff for your YouTube and stuff like that?
Sometimes I get times where I'm like, I try and sort of like, if I can in a day, I normally pre-film a few so that I know that there may be weeks where I'm like, oh, I don't fancy filming. That's why I wanted to have quite a lot pre-filmed so I didn't have to worry about if I didn't feel like I wanted to film, that I wasn't running out of content.
Yeah.
Because I was like, if I have a schedule, I'm like, I can't go, oh yeah, I don't have a video this week, guys. watched
Oh, I know.
months ago. It's like people ain't going to be happy about that. So like that's why I kind of was just like, if I couldn't film, and also because of my work shift being late, it's like by the time I finish, I don't even want to film at that point.
Yeah.
It's like I go back and I'm like, do I really want to sit there and film a video? Not really. Even though I've fucking moaned about doing late shifts and they still won't change them.
Like, if I was to film and edit videos for a whole day, right, then like a whole day non-stop, I mean now,
Yeah.
right, I would get up the next day and be like, right, I need a break from filming and editing, but it would only be just for one day, and then I'd feel, then the day after that, then I'd feel like my normal self again.
Yeah.
You know?
There's like videos I want to film. Like there's one that I debated filming when I go back to my stepdad's.
Okay, and what video is that?
There's like it's like a country, like there's like a track, like not that far from my stepdad's. That's like meant to be like a walking trail, but it is also just literally a big fucking park.
Right.
But it's like literally like kind of down the road from my stepdad's, because he was like to me once, he's like, oh, if you're bored, he's like, oh, there's a little walking trail that he used to do, because when he moved back there when my mum kicked him out, like he tried to get out of the house so that he wasn't alone. And he was like, oh, I went to this little, because there's like a cafe there and stuff. But I'm like, I've never really walked around there. But I debated filming, like a video around there, or like just seeing what I could see.
Yeah, I still haven't put Windows 11 on my PC. I would have done it today, but I've been a bit, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing other things with my computer today, you know.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, see, it would take me like a day to kind of do it all, and that would be if I did it non-stop, because I'd have to install Windows and then install updates and then put all my software back on, and like if I did that non-stop, it would take me like a whole day to do.
Yeah.
Like I'd have to get up like early enough to get it all done, plus I'd have to leave myself enough time so I can prepare for my live and that.
Yeah.
You know, there we go. People can see my face properly now. No, I'm not proper right by my desk. I should have put my Scare Theatre t-shirts on, shouldn't have I? Yeah. Bloody hell, 44 minutes I've been on this stream for. It feels nice though to be back into doing the streams again at least.
Yeah. So sometimes when you take, like, sometimes it's nice to take a break from things. Sometimes I remember I took a break from like certain social media platforms just because like it got too much for me, I think.
Like, it wasn't the fact it was getting too much. It was more the fact that, like, I didn't really get, like, I don't really get many people in, do I?
No. So, like, sometimes it's like, if you're on your own, then it's kind of like,
Yeah. It's like, that's why I'm trying to think of ideas for live streams I can do with OBS.
Yeah.
You know? Because I want to do streams with OBS as well as do stuff like this.
Yeah.
You know, for some reason, though, when you stream with OBS, right, when you end the stream, it takes a lot longer for those streams to go up for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why they take so long to process the OBS streams, but they do. I done an 8-hour stream once. It wasn't with OBS. It was with Google Hangouts.
Yeah.
Because when I first started doing these streams, that's what I was using. I was using Google Hangouts, which is gone now. I think even the private Hangouts is gone as it goes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, when they use Google Hangouts, they just jump straight on. They used to jump straight onto the YouTube Live streaming thing. Like a lot of people, instead of using private Hangouts to just hang out, hence the name Google Hangout, they would go straight onto like YouTube and do it all live, like, which I gotta be honest, I think that's what I done all the time. But well, Google Hangouts is still there, but it's like it's changed to something else now. It's like Google Chat, I think it is now.
Yeah. I feel like there's a lot of things that like they change and then people like really don't like it.
Yeah.
It's like I left my phone on the table at work and I forgot like that I left it in staff right area. And because my phone was still like unlocked, like one of the girls was like, she's like, oh, why have you got 2 versions of WhatsApp on your phone? And I'm looking at her going, I don't. I have 1 version of WhatsApp. I was like, you can't have 2 versions of WhatsApp. There's only 1.
Mm.
And she's looking at me. She's like, points at my phone, and she's like, well, no, you've got this one. And she's like, you've got one that's called WeChat. I'm like, to her, goes that. I'm like, to her, I'm like, you're getting confused. I'm like, that's WhatsApp. I said to her, she's like, well, what's WeChat? And I said to her, I goes, oh, that's a Chinese version of WhatsApp. I was like, it technically is WhatsApp, but not exactly the same. And then she was like, well, why have you got 2 versions? I was like, because one is English. I was like, to her, I'm like, one is obviously English, one is obviously Chinese. None of it's in English. And she's like, well, why have you got a Chinese one? And I was like, because I have a Chinese phone number as well as a British phone number. And I was like, the Chinese one is obviously to speak to Chinese relatives because they can't get actual WhatsApp. And I was like, it has a translator in it, which most people are like, why does that have a translator in it? I'm like, oh, they made one in. It doesn't really translate it very well. I tried.
But yeah, I just found something I sent to Jarrell back in 2018. It was for him to add me as a friend on YouTube or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'd been watching his videos. I seen he had the same disability as me, and I've not spoke to Jarrell for a while. He don't use Skype no more. He uses like Discord and
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, like, mainly have moved to Discord. I don't mind it, but I don't really. I barely write on it. To be fair.
Yeah, I've got it on my on my on my computer. But I haven't logged into it in a long time.
I only really use it for like, I'm in like odd group chats. I mean, one is like literally people that Liam went to uni with. One is like a games meetup like thing that they do. Like they normally do it every like second week of the month. They plan like gaming ones. I've been to a couple, but not that many. Because they're weirdly all on a Thursday and I'm normally in work.
Yeah.
So it's like I normally can go, but it's normally like I can't go until like sort of after I finish.
Yeah.
And then they did one like randomly on like a Monday, but thankfully I wasn't in work that day. Otherwise, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't be able to even attend it.
Mm.
And then I have one Discord chat that I joined because I did play testing for a company. Finish that by this week, otherwise I wouldn't be involved in it anymore.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think with Joe, I think he's just really busy nowadays.
Yeah.
I think that's why you don't come on my streams and as much.
I remember like on my old YouTube channel I used to do streams, and like, I did have like when my cousin was younger, like she wanted to be in a video once because I was down my nan's over the summer, so I was like, I didn't want to not do them when I was there because obviously people were used to me doing them.
Yeah.
But like I went live, like I did one during the day because I was like I couldn't do one later that night because like we were going out, so I was just like I'll do one in the day, and I just put up like sort of a notice to people like hours before going, oh, I'm gonna do a stream earlier today, and not do like my later usual streaming time because obviously I was like we were going out for like a meal, so I was like I'm not gonna be filming then because we're in the pub.
Yeah, and plus as well, you gotta think about the fact as well that there's music on.
Well, yeah, I was like, we were in the pub and I was like, it's going to be awkward. And I was just like, it's going to be loud. So I was like, I just did one earlier. And then like my little cousin wanted to be in the live. And I'm like, to her, I'm like, for ages, I was like, to know, like, cause she kept trying to get in front of the camera. And I'm like, I know. Because I'm like, I don't want to then have to ask your dad for permission. Because obviously it's going online. She was like 2.5, 3 at this point. So I was like, I don't really want your face on video.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like she was like to me, she's like, yeah, but like you're on camera. I'm like, but yeah, but I was like to her, I said, yeah, because I'm a bit older. I was like, it doesn't really matter if my face is on camera compared to yours. And like, because her dad walked in like while I was on stream at one point.
Right.
And like her dad was like, oh, what are you doing? And like I basically like I stopped the stream, so like it was still live, but obviously like people couldn't hear anything. And I was like to him, oh, like I just do lives on like YouTube. And I was like to him, oh, Alicia keeps trying to get in front of the camera. I was like to him, they seemed like bits of her face at that point because she kept, trying to walk in front of me. But I was like to him, I was like, is it fine if she's in them? I said to him, like, obviously, I don't really want to put her in them if he's not happy. Because obviously it's his kids. This video is going to be on the internet otherwise. And he was like, as long as it's nothing like, he's like, well, as long as you're not doing anything that you shouldn't be doing, he's like, she's fine to be on camera. But like, I had to stop the stream at one point, and I like didn't go live for like a couple of days after that.
Yeah.
Because like Alicia she kept saying her full name, and then she said like my nan's home address. So like I ended the stream because I was like, yeah, like she's not gonna stop. She like I told her no, and then she did it again, and I was like, we don't say that on video.
Yeah.
But like I took a break for a couple of days, and like people noticed that obviously I wasn't live, and people were kind of like, oh, wonder what's happened, blah blah blah. And then like I did eventually come back to stream and basically just explain to people that obviously I took the video down of the stream that Alicia was in because I was just like, yeah, no, get rid of it. Even though people could have screen recorded it, I was just like, I didn't want it out there anymore.
Yeah.
And I said to people, like, I basically was like to people, obviously, you may notice that stream is missing. I said to people, obviously, a lot of reasons why I took it down. Obviously, main reason is security purposes for my nan, because basically her home address was leaked. Obviously, I was like, didn't really want anyone to turn up at my nan's house, whether I was there or not there.
Oh, no.
And then I was like, obviously, I was like, my little cousin is like 2.5, 3. She doesn't really know what she's doing. She says things that she shouldn't have said. And I was like, that's one thing she shouldn't have said. And like, even her dad was like, yeah, like, he was like, at least you've taken the video down. He's like, doesn't mean that people, like, he was like, don't know how many people had seen it before I took it down. But obviously, he lives local enough that he was like, you know, if anything did happen, like, my nan would have told him.
Yeah.
Nothing did, like, nothing came out of it. No one ended up coming to my nan's or nothing. But it's like, yeah, after that, like, she was never in a stream of mine again. Like, she asked, and I'd be like, nah, you're not coming in the stream, whether you've learned your lesson or not. I'm not risking it.
No, I wouldn't.
I was like, not risking it, because I was like, Burgers, you said nan's address, it didn't need to be on the internet.
Yeah.
I was like to her, I was like, that's why I'm careful. Like, even if I do make videos, like certain videos I film, but I'm like, I try not film. If it's like.
Plus, as well, isn't that classed as doxing though as well?
Yeah, so it's like. But I'm always careful what I film because obviously I'm like, I don't want to give out too much information.
Yeah, because doxing as well. Doxing that goes against YouTube's community guidelines as well.
Yeah, because like I know that someone filmed like a vlog going to their like local like shop, and people figured out where she lived. Literally just from her filming her going to the shop and like her normal like sort of route to the shop.
Yeah.
And they figured out her home address, sent her a letter, and was like, oh, they were like, oh, I know where blank shop is. I know where, like, being like, obviously, I know where you live. And obviously, I'm like, that's why, like, if I film anything, like, I'm sort of careful what I film so that I know that people can't figure anything out.
Yeah.
In a lot of detail, because it's like, if I'm filming places, like, obviously, I filmed, like, Liam's mum's, I was like, well, I don't live there. So you're not going to really, it is quite a small town anyway, like you're not going to really figure out anything from that.
No.
And for a lot of it, all I did was film like sort of the main kind of little town. So it's like realistically, I didn't film my route where you could physically see what route I took to get there and to get back.
Yeah.
I only really filmed the journey there, and I filmed the ground for the majority of it until we got to like the city centre. So people only really saw like the odd like shops, which you literally probably couldn't make it out unless you really zoomed in that well.
Plus, well, even if somebody did try and zoom in, it would go all pixely, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, and I was like, certain places like I'm like I won't film. Like that's why like if I have ever filmed at my stepdad's, I normally try and make sure that I'm not filming anything that people can figure out, because it's not that hard. Especially if people live in the area, then people are going to go, oh, I know that area, it's blah, blah, blah.
Oh, I know.
No water. Oh. Sometimes. There's that brave.
Yeah.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen Sky been brought home.
Pardon?
Nicola was like, the Sky brought home a snake. I was like, where the fuck she got a snake from?
The fuck knows.
Because she's like, Damon had to ring his friend and be like, oh yeah, do you want to come get your snake? My cat's got it.
Oh, God.
He sleeps in his wardrobe now.
Oh, God.
Nicola couldn't find her the other day, and she's there calling her for ages, thinking she's outside, and she's tucked in Damon's wardrobe. I'm like, why is she in the wardrobe? And she's like, I don't know, it's a new sleeping place now. I was like, in the wardrobe. But he closes the wardrobe though, so he forgets she's in there sometimes. Just like poor cat.
Oh, bloody hell.
Can't be as bad. She fell from the tree the other day.
Oh.
She's still living there. She's been hit by everything.
Oh, God. I don't know why I'm starting to get tired for. I haven't done anything all day.
I was tired, but then I woke up early this morning because obviously I had the doctors and then I fucked up and realised that I was like, am I even going to get there on time at this point? Because I thought it was 10 to 10. I phoned them, so I was like, oh, I'll phone them, make sure. They're like, oh no, it's 9:50. And I was in town literally like, it was like 8:10 at this point, and I'm like, well, it takes me a fucking hour from town to get to the bus station. I'm like, I'm kind of fucking fine if I even make it on time. I literally got there with like 20 minutes to spare. I'm like, I'm cutting it fine at this point. I was like, if I got any of a later bus, I would have been late, and then I would have been pissed off because I would have had to go all the way back to Cardiff without literally going to the doctors for what I went for originally. Would not have been fun.
Right, Charles, I'm going to call her a night now, right? Because I am getting tired.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, good night.
Good night.
Good night, Charles. Right, go on. Bleh. I'll see you on the flip side.